Bruce Stanton, first of all, good to see you again.
Yeah,
thanks for coming by to speak with me. So you've been the Deputy Speaker for the last 4 years, and prior to that you were an Assistant Deputy Speaker,
Correct.
so you got a lot of experience in this job, but not the sort of top job as the Speaker. So why do you believe you're the best candidate this time around for the Speaker's chair?
Well, I think I can contribute to help the members in their work and their responsibilities, which can be daunting, of course, at times. And each of us, we've learned over the years through our work in Parliament different ways that one can do that. What becomes paramount, of course, is helping them in the House itself. This is where most of the members see the Speaker's work. And being even-handed and being fair, but firm as well, to make sure that the members are knowing and understanding the boundaries in Parliament and hopefully support them in a way that they'll be effective as MPs.
But if you present for the office of Speaker, for the job of Speaker, it presumes, I think you can do a better job or bring something different to the position than is already being offered by the current candidate, Jeff Regan, who's been there for the past 4 years. And you've been his Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
So what is it you would do differently? Why do you think it's time to think of Bruce Stanton as opposed to Jeff Regan?
Well, it's one of the things that makes this kind of contest awkward. I mean, here we are, all candidates. We know each other, have worked with them. They're valued friends and colleagues. And it sometimes makes a bit of a challenge to, find those points of distinction, I suppose, as a candidate. But I think we look forward and not back, and we look to see and offer, really. This is by its nature, this is an offering to members themselves to see what their preferences are. And so what could I do different is just making sure that I am not only fair and even-handed with the kind of things, the decisions that come before Parliament, but be seen to be so in the course of our work.
But are you suggesting that hasn't been the case the past 4 years? That there's
not
been
at all.
Concerns about Jeff Regan's fairness or his impartiality?
Not at all. Okay. Not at all. But I do know it's an important.
So again, what's the point of distinction then? So why choose Bruce Stanton over Jeff Regan?
Well, it's an option for people. I think that members will hear what the proposals are for the different Speaker candidates, but also to look at the reality in the House. We have 98 new MPs in the House. Almost a quarter of, almost a third actually, of all of our members are new. They may be looking for something different as well. And so the idea of this Speaker contest is to put some of those options in front of members and let them decide by way of a preferential ballot. So, one can only hope as a Speaker to build on the good work of the Speakers before us. Right.
What would you do? And it seems to me the number one concern I certainly hear from people who observe the work of Parliament, and some MPs who are in it, is the heckling and the decorum and the interruptions. And I think that's become, for a lot of MPs and a lot of Canadians watching, a problem. How would you deal with it, and would you deal with it any differently than the current Speaker's been dealing with it?
Well, I think that you would work to, certainly as it's the nature of a minority parliament is that the parties are going to have to find some things they can agree on. So I think finding ways to encourage a more cross-party camaraderie and finding ways to get members not only knowledgeable of each other and some of the things that they want to achieve, but finding ways to break down some of those obstacles that may be there that maybe heighten the kind of decorum that we see in the House from time to time.
Right. Are you concerned that, I guess it could go either way. In a minority parliament, you can have, as we've heard lots of discussion, you can have, the parties suggest that, well, we've been sent a message by Canadians, they want us to work together. Others could view it as a minority parliament as looking for opportunities to lead us into another election. And so there's an opportunity there, or a possibility of decorum actually being more challenged in a minority parliament. So what are your thoughts on dealing with that?
Well, and that's the key point, is that in a minority situation, there could be scenarios where, especially on things like votes, one is going to have to be a little bit more attentive to make sure that the votes are carried out in a way that's judicious and proper, and that the rules are followed, because when we're getting down to closer decisions and divisions in the House of Commons, we have to make sure that we're on top of that. But when it comes to decorum, it really comes down to the members themselves not only knowing what the boundaries are that the Speaker has set down and been continuous and have some continuity into how they're ruling in the House, so that the members know themselves. Beyond that, the Speaker has to really invite, the the better judgment of members themselves. Because ultimately, if you don't have their cooperation in some of these aspects, it's just not going to happen.
No, I mean, I've watched speakers do this for decades, trying to encourage members to observe the rules of decorum,
of course,
to be less heckling, and I'm not sure how much change I see. So, are you likely to be? I mean, we've seen Speaker Regan, pull questions away from some members who won't listen to his advice.
That can happen, yes.
That can happen. We've seen him call them out publicly in the chamber by naming their ridings and so on, and saying, calling them repeatedly to exercise a little more restraint. But there are options to go further. Are you a go further speaker? Are you satisfied with the way discipline has been meted out in the chamber so far? Or do you think more needs to be done?
I think there are ways that you can go about, not just in the chamber, I should point out. I mean, some of these things would necessitate a conversation outside the chamber as well, where the speaker can have the chance to relay the importance of keeping a good functioning order and decorum in the House of Commons. It's what Canadians expect, certainly. So having some of those conversations offline. Also, the role of the whips and House leaders in this becomes very important. There has to be a good understanding across the House leadership of the importance of keeping that decorum and the Speaker's part in it. But it does go both ways, and you've got to work to find a way to make that happen. It's something I've done in my work across these 8 years, is impress upon MPs that you are, intuitively, they should be able to see that you're even-handed in your work. And when they see that, I think they will be more inclined to know and understand where those boundaries are, and then when they might be crossing them.
Let's finish on this. Back to the minority parliament situation. Speaker doesn't get to vote unless there's a tie.
Yes.
You would come from an opposition party if you were to become the speaker. Have you run that by the party leadership? Are they okay with this, or do they think, look, Bruce, we may need your vote, so we don't want you in the Speaker's chair?
Well, I have not had that conversation, actually, but there's a good convention that we use in our system around the Speaker voting. You're right that it doesn't happen unless there's a tie. But depending on what stage a question or a particular bill is at, will dictate what the Speaker should do in a case like that. For the most part, and in general, we would always vote to maintain the status quo, to make sure that Parliament has the opportunity to consider a further stage, for example, if there's an opportunity to continue to work. If the House on itself has not come to a decision on a question, then it's not for the Speaker to sort of end that. If he or she can prolong it.
I'm thinking more in terms of a confidence vote, where the vote, you could end up being a deciding vote as a Speaker, and your party may say, no, we want to keep every vote in our benches here.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'll have that chance on Thursday to decide, which way they might want to tip in terms of the loss of or the retention of a seat on their side of the House. But my hope is that the opposition members will see that there's an importance to see that all parties in the House will be treated in a way, including all opposition parties in this House that does have a majority of opposition members, that there is having a balance and making sure that all parties are treated fairly will be a benefit to them as well.
All right, Bruce Stanton, candidate for Speaker, good luck.
Thanks very much, Peter.